All right, let's talk about Plazm because there is something really interesting happening right now. On the surface, the price might be telling you one thing, but if you dig just a little deeper, the data is screaming something else entirely. We're talking about supply compression, and we're going to break down exactly why a shrinking supply is actually a super powerful sign of strength for the protocol. Okay, before we get into the thick of it, you know the drill. This is all for educational and informational purposes. It is absolutely not financial advice, so please always do your own research. So let's get right to it. The real story here is this: counterintuitive signal. It's this clash between the price and what people are actually doing. Yeah, this is the number that jumps out at you, right? An 8.5% drop. I mean, your first instinct is probably to think, uh-oh, that's not good. On the surface, it definitely looks like weakness, and hey, a number like that can make anyone a little nervous. So the big question is it time to panic? I mean, really, when you see red like that, should you be worried? Is the whole thing broken? Well, hold on a second. Not so fast. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. This is the difference between what most people see and what smart money is looking at. On one hand, you have that 8.5% price drop. But on the other hand, staking is up 7.4%. Now think about that. That is not panic selling, not even close. That is pure conviction. It's clear accumulation, and it tells a story of deep underlying strength. And that strength, that accumulation, it all boils down to one core concept: the great supply squeeze. Let's really dig into what supply compression means, because honestly, it's everything right now. So what is it? It's actually pretty simple. Supply compression is just the process of taking tokens off the open market. We're talking about reducing the liquid supply, the stuff that's easy to sell. And this happens in a few key ways: people staking their tokens, the protocol burning tokens, like forever, and locking them up in liquidity pools. I love this analogy. It makes it so clear. Think of it like a sponge, right? All the Plazm tokens that can be easily sold are like the water soaked up in that sponge. Now, every time someone stakes or a burn happens, that's like a hand physically squeezing the sponge. What's the result? You get a much denser, tighter sponge and a whole lot less water or liquid supply that can drip out. And wow, this chart right here shows you the results of all that squeezing. Just look at these numbers. A whopping 56% of all Plazm is staked. Another 28% is locked in LPs. And then you've got 12% that's been burned, just gone. When you add all that up, what's left for the liquid, sellable supply is, well, it's a tiny, tiny sliver. Just let that number sink in for a second. 96%. 96% of the entire supply is locked up or totally destroyed. That means only 4%. 4 of all Plazm tokens can actually be traded on the open market. That, my friends, is what we call an incredibly tight float. Okay, so why is this so important, especially right now? Because this whole supply compression thing, it's not just a cool stat, it's a defense mechanism. And it's getting the protocol ready for a really big event that's just around the corner, the Day 78 unlock. Yeah, in about 18 days, we're looking at roughly 2.28 million Plazm tokens unlocking. And I get it, that sounds like a huge amount of potential sell pressure hitting the market all at once. It's definitely something everyone has their eyes on. But, and this is so important, we have to remember, an unlock event does not equal a dump event. They are not the same thing. Just because tokens become available doesn't mean everyone's going to rush to sell. People will hold, they'll restake, and this whole supply compression situation we've been talking about, it totally changes the equation. And look, we don't even have to guess. We have proof of this happening in real time. Just today, 664 Plazm were released. So you'd think the liquid supply went up, right? Wrong. The net change was actually minus 310 Plazm. The supply shrank. The squeeze from staking and burns is already out-muscling the new tokens coming in. That's powerful. And it's not just about what holders are doing. This defensive strength is also being built brick by brick every single day by the protocol's own engines. And the best part, these engines don't care about the price. They just keep working. I mean, just take a look at the yield engine. It just keeps chugging along. Another $544 in real yield today, bringing the grand total to over $44,000. Plus, the protocol scooped up another 27 bonds. This is the protocol's treasury getting stronger, automatically, every single day. So what does that growing treasury do? Well, it creates these mathematical safety nets for the price. You can think of them as floor prices, literally backed by the protocol's assets. You've got this defended floor at $1.25, which is a pretty solid support level, and then a base floor down at 75 cents for a worst-case scenario. And as you can see, the current price is comfortably above both. Let's put a number on it. Right now, there's a 26% cushion above that main defended floor. That's a pretty significant buffer, a real structural support. And here's the kicker. As the supply keeps getting squeezed, these floor prices can actually get even stronger. All right, let's tie this all together. What's the big takeaway from all these numbers and charts? It really boils down to one simple but really powerful idea. Think about it like this. We're on an 18-day runway leading up to that day 78 unlock. And every single day between now and then, what's happening? More tokens get staked, more tokens get burned, more yield flows into those defense pools. And that liquid float gets tighter and tighter and tighter. The result? The protocol is getting stronger before the unlock, not weaker. It's actively building its armor. So this gives us a whole new way to look at the market, right? When you see price weakness, but at the same time you see conviction strength, like more staking and a tighter supply, that's what we call a bullish divergence. It's a huge signal that long-term conviction is overpowering any short-term price noise. Look, if you take away just one thing today, let it be this. Tighter float equals a stronger protocol. Simple as that. This supply squeeze isn't some fluke or a temporary thing. It's a core feature of the system, and it's building real, long-term strength into its foundation. Hey, thanks for diving into this with me. It's a pretty fascinating dynamic, isn't it? And as always, remember, this was for informational purposes. Keep digging, keep doing your own research, and we'll catch you on the next one.